Good afternoon, and thank you for taking time out of your Tuesday to join us here on SuperTalk Mississippi 101.9 FM as it's the ICC Hour here on August the 15th. It's the first week of classes here at ICC, and it's always one of my most favorite time of year because it just brings a renewed energy to campus when the students return, and just, everything's a whole lot more fun whenever you got students here on campus. Now, last week, we had a chance to catch up with ICC Student Activities Director Taylor Tudor as she talked about this week's Welcome Week and all the things that are going on at all three of our locations, of course, those being Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden. We also heard from Zach Cox and Taylor Land telling us about the ICC Wesley Foundation, and we closed out the show with a preview of our upcoming volleyball season with Coach Annie McGregor. Now, speaking of volleyball, there will be an action tonight against Russ College at 5:30 in an exhibition match at the DEC. So if you're looking for something to do, come watch and support the girls in their first home event of the season. Now, if you didn't catch any of last week's show but would like to go back and check it out, you can do so by searching the ICC Hour, just those three simple words, the ICC Hour on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the page while you're there, and while you're on YouTube, search Let's Go ICC and subscribe to our athletic page as well. Now, of course, I'm Adam Gore, the Sports Information Director here at ICC, and the ICC Hour is being presented to you by our friends over at Renasant Bank.
Playing on tour takes years of dedication, hours of practice, focused precision, and nerves of steel. That's how you become great at the game, but not how you should bank. That's why Allie Ewing chose Renasant Bank. Their easy-to-use app makes banking a breeze, no matter where she is. Renasant Bank, understanding you.
On this week's show, we'll be joined by Jon Armstrong. He stops by to tell us about a grant that the college's workforce programs recently received from a very famous, very familiar group. So you'll want to be sure and hang out for that in the first segment of the show. Then we'll continue to look at the start of our athletic seasons when we'll be joined by Coach David Strother, head coach of the women's soccer team, and Coach Caryl Vogel, men's soccer coach. They'll stop by and tell us about their upcoming seasons as well that start this weekend. Now, as you can tell, we've got another jam-packed show for you this week, so sit back, relax with a nice ice-cold Coca-Cola from our friends over at Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, and enjoy the show because when we come back, we'll be joined by Mr. Jon Armstrong here on the ICC Hour presented by Renasant Bank.
Kirk Herbstreit is a man of many talents. Not only an athlete and a sportscaster, but also an expert cartographer, an amateur alchemist, a surprisingly gifted poet.
What rhymes with encroachment?
But his true talent lies in the art of banking.
With Renasant Bank's great products, rewards, and easy-to-use online tools, every transaction is a masterpiece.
You might refer to Kirk as a Renaissance man.
But I call myself a Renaissance man.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Hey Indian fans, I'm Ricky Murphy, real estate agent, Tommy Morgan Realtors, and I'm also a proud alumni of the All-American Marching Band. Itawamba Community College was my home for 2 years, and where you decide to make your home will be one of the most important decisions of your life. Whether you're looking to create a plan to buy your first home, or if you're ready today to make a move into your forever home, give me a call or send me a message so we can discuss your next move. And for my family, Roll Tribe!
Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
And welcome back to the ICC Hour here on SuperTalk Mississippi 101.9 FM. As always, the ICC Hour is being brought to you by our friends over at Renasant Bank. Renasant Bank, they are the bank that understands you, and you can find out why by visiting RenasantBank.com. Well, as we talked about in the top of the show, a big announcement came out this past week here at ICC, and we're talking to the myth, the man, the legend that is Mr. Jon that's going to tell us about it here. And Jon, before we get started, let everybody know who you are and what you do here at ICC.
Well, thank you, Adam. I've been teaching English here for 16 years, and I recently took on some new responsibilities as an instructional project manager. My goal is to help the wonderful faculty here at ICC innovate within their program areas to help push ICC forward and to help make things better across the board for our students.
Well, you've already hit a home run with that. We can say that. Big announcement this last week. Well, I won't ruin it because I want you to announce it because you're the one that put in the hard work and the effort to help make this happen.
Well, nothing is ever a single person project. Everything is a team effort. This effort came between me and our Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Michelle Klaus, and our Dean of Career Science, which is Dylan Baldwin. So about 5 years ago, the notorious thrash metal band Metallica decided that they wanted to do some more good in the community than they were already doing, which they have done a lot over the years. They partnered with a group called All Within My Hands, which is a charity organization, and with the specific goal of pushing more of our young students through to obtainable careers. So, we're talking welding, air conditioner repair, and other sorts of jobs. So it's about the impact of trying to stop generational poverty, trying to help people overcome whatever, they were born into, and to make the world a better place for themselves and for their communities. And so this is the 5th year, and 11 community colleges were chosen from across the nation. Itawamba Community College was one of those that was chosen, and we're very proud.
Absolutely, that not only one of those, but the only one in the state as well that was chosen this year. I know some other schools have been chosen in the past as well. And you think about this, man, this is really awesome to think about, a group like Metallica. Everybody knows who Metallica is, but may have not known they were doing this. It's awesome to see them give back.
Yeah, it's amazing. Lars Ulrich, he makes videos talking about this initiative. You can find that on the Metallica website. The actual symbol for this Metallica All Within My Hands scholarship grant was hand-pinned by James Hetfield himself on a tour bus.
Nice.
So when you see this, you know that they are very much involved in it. It's not just something that they do for a tax write-off. They are serious about the success of students.
Now, you talked about this, and you may not know, it may not be settled yet, but the grant was for $100,000.
Yes.
What is this going to go towards here at the college?
So we will select students who are in financial need, who have exhibited strong desire, willpower. They want to be successful. They want to take their skills that they have honed, here in the vocational technology centers around our service area, or at home or wherever, and they want to take that out into the world and to do good. But they may be struggling with paying their bills. They can't afford the housing. They can't afford food in some cases. And so as part of this grant, in the situation by situation basis, we're going to offer those funds to help those students meet their needs in order to be successful.
Absolutely, and we're talking with Mr. Jon Armstrong, and we're talking about the grant that ICC has gotten. The All Within My Hands Metallica Scholarships Initiative is actually what it's called. And, we're talking about this, and we'll focus on the workforce that we have here at ICC. And I tell you what, I often say our Belden Center is the crown jewel of North Mississippi. We got a lot of great people that work over there that do a lot of great things to really help not only just ICC, but put those workers out in the area and stay home in this area that really helps Northeast Mississippi.
Right. The goal is to keep our students here in North Mississippi. The 5 counties that we serve contain some of the most amazing people, and we don't want to lose them.
Right.
We want to keep folks here working to make our community prosper. We don't want to outsource. We want our folks right here, and that is part of this. What we want to do is, with this Metallica Scholar Certificate, we want to create well-skilled, autonomous workers who can open their own businesses if they need to, who can go to work for our partners like Toyota, and will be successful. They'll have the training they need, and they'll have the backgrounds in order to stay here, work hard, and make the most out of this certificate.
John, I think that was the best way to really talk about that certificate there. I'm going to put you on the spot here towards the end. All right, so you've been here at ICC for years.
Yes, sir.
All right, if there's somebody right now at home, of course, I know this is the first few weeks of school, may not be able to get in this semester, but thinking about next semester, why should they come to ICC?
Well, here's the thing about Itawamba Community College, and I'm going to say this as frankly as I can. You know, and every decision that we make here as a college, every meeting that we have, every move that we make has one goal, and that is to help our community. So when we're over here behind closed doors meeting, when we're writing grants, when we're doing projects, the goal is to make things better for students, for our community, for our people here in this 5-county area and beyond that we serve. So students should know that if you're going to come to ICC, you're going to come to not just a group of buildings. You're going to find people who care deeply about whether or not those students are successful. Mm-hmm. So if you come to ICC, you're coming among family. We're here. We want to be whatever you need us to be to get you there. Now, this doesn't mean everything is going to be super easy. There will be challenges, but it's within those challenges that you grow as a person, you grow as a student, and you'll have some friends for life, both within the faculty and the students that you're with. It is a great choice to come to ICC.
And I couldn't have said it any better myself. John, we do appreciate your time today and talking about this grant. And great job on that, man. Great job. I know this is a new assignment for you. And, man, you set the bar high for yourself.
I appreciate it.
We'll be back more of the ICC Hour right after this.
Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renasant Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renasant Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
They say Diet Coke is a mom's drink. Well, you copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music. Now, copy her drink. Drink what your mama gave you.
Hey, honey, could you help me with this? Today tastes like staying in. And it never tasted this good.
The robotics program at ICC is a program that allows the students to learn about industrial grade robots that are used in local companies and also in companies globally. The robotics program is a 2-year degree, and after the 2 years, typically the students, when they graduate, they'll get an Associate of Science degree in robotic and automated technology. The graduates that we have from ICC with the robotics and automated technology degree go into companies around here that have manufacturing and that have specifically robots in their manufacturing or automated processes. When the student finishes our program, there are certificates available through various robotic manufacturers. The blue robots that we have here are called Yaskawas, and through the Yaskawa company you can get certifications for material handling, certifications for welding, certifications for paint applications, things like that. In our area, we've had an increase in robotic applications added to many of the companies here, so the job market is very good for a robotics technician. They generally start around $20 an hour, which is about $40,000 a year. So it's a really good entrance for a student of any age. So most all of the companies we have here now that manufacture products are using some kind of robot or some kind of automated process. So there's lots of opportunity in our area for good jobs. It's a really fun thing to get into. When you can program a robot and have it do something repetitively and you can walk off and leave it, to me that's gratifying. A robot does not need the air conditioning, it does not need the lights in the room to be turned on and that kind of thing. And it's just fun to work with. To enroll in the Robotics and Automation program at ICC, go to ICC's website, www.iccms.edu, and apply to the college first. Once you apply to the college and you're accepted, then there is an application process for the robotics program.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
When I think of ICC, I think about home.
The moment I stepped on campus, I knew it was a perfect fit.
It helped me find my true self.
It has opened doors for me that I didn't even know existed.
Everyone here wants you to succeed.
I was able to get involved here and make a real difference.
I've met my closest friends here.
There's something for everyone to be involved with.
I've gained skills to succeed in the workforce.
It's been the best experience.
And welcome back to the ICC Hour here on SuperTalk Mississippi 101.9 FM as we continue to talk about the start of the new school year. And start of the new school year also brings the start of the sports season. And we're going to talk with ICC women's soccer coach David Strother about the Lady Indians and the little preseason and then rolling into the season. And Coach, before we get started, appreciate you making time to come talk to us.
Yeah, man. Always excited this time of year, get back on campus and get all our students on campus and have an opportunity to come talk to you about what we're looking forward to. So thanks for the invite.
Well, let's just jump right into it. Preseason, man, it's busy for y'all because really and truly you got to get acclimated to the heat, but you just got so little time to get ready for the season.
Yeah, and this year it's a little bit different for us. We usually try to go a little bit deeper into our preseason before we start any real games for us. And so, we try to get acclimated to the heat and play that game kind of before we get started in the regular season, which actually starts on August 17th against Mississippi State up in Knoxville, Tennessee. But the adjustment was good. Got a chance to play everybody in and had an opportunity to see some pieces and see how some of our international players adjusted to this Mississippi heat. So that was a good experience.
Well, let's stay on that coin because as you in tennis, it really do have that unique aspect of your team is that international flair. Mm-hmm. Just talk about one, how do you go about finding your international players, and then two, how do they get used to Fulton, Mississippi, and this southern heat?
Yeah, well, the first thing is we got to go find them, and very appreciative to have a wonderful assistant coach, Hugo Galti. He's going on our third season with us. His nationality is France, and so he went through the pipeline of coming to the States as a student athlete himself from France, and played at an extremely high level at the Division I level on the men's side. And so he has the experience from what he did as a recruitable athlete. Now we use his experience that he had with that to help go and locate players. And so sometimes it's as simple as him flying back home and watching some showcases. We kind of let him take the lead in our international recruiting and the identification of those players. If we're not able to see them face to face, we'll watch video on them. We'll use different agencies that we network with to get those players that we think could be a good fit to build around our Mississippi players. We always start with Mississippi first. We even try to start it as local as possible and build the Mississippi base and then fine tune it with the international players. But yeah, we'll look over every single rock and cranny we possibly can and have them stretched out all across the world to bring them into Fulton. And once they're here, they become part of the Fulton family and part of the ICC family. And that's something that we always try to let them know about in advance. You never really know about it until you get here. But once you're here, man, this community just absorbs our players, and we're so appreciative of that. And so far, so good. Getting done with our 2 weeks of preseason, the adjustment of our international players seems to have been easier than some of our Mississippi players. So it's been good.
All right. So where are some of your international players from?
So right now we have 5 on roster. We have 2 from England. Beth Lloyd, a returning player. She is from just outside Manchester. She was a sophomore player for us. The other English player is Lauren Sharples. She is out of Merseyside, England, which is just outside of Liverpool. So those 2 are from England. Then we have one from Liechtenstein, which is a small country just outside of Switzerland. She actually plays for her national team, her senior national team, which is the highest level you can play in women's soccer. She plays for them. And then we have another player, Melanie Huder from Switzerland, and our last player, Vanessa Bagetz from Germany.
Okay, so well-spended area out there on the international. So, well, let's just talk about it. Preseason, getting ready to start the season. Man, y'all are in a tough division. Everybody talks about the MACCC, or what used to be the MAJC, known for just the toughness of the competition in football. It's that same way in soccer. They realigned, to kind of even things out with what the scholarships had versus some of the others. Really kind of made it a more fair playing field between the Division I and now Divisions II schools. We are D2, but man, I think, 2 years ago, 3 of the Final 4 were out of our conference. So that just tells you, man, we're in a tough conference.
Yeah, this past 2022 season, we sent 3 of our teams within the MACCC to the national tournament, which is great for them, great for the exposure of the conference. But it just shows the level of the conference. I think you're right. Whenever we were a Division I program, which was fine, we were always competitive, and but we would run into those juggernauts at the Division I level, the Tylers, the East Floridas, that could have fully funded scholarships in comparison to what we could have. So I thought that maybe the level would go a little bit unappreciated, just because we never got to that next level. We never got to the round of top 3 or top 4 in the final tournament. Now that we've adjusted to Division III, which is now universal to our conference and all the other teams that are equal to us across the nation, we are consistently sending national contenders to the tournament, which is always our goal here at Itawamba. I mean, that's what we strive for. And so to see some of our competitors go and get that opportunity last year, obviously we're excited for them. It's great for the exposure, like I said, of the league, but that's something we're striving for this year and moving forward. We want to be in those top 10 contenders as well.
And we're talking with Coach David Strother, the head coach of the women's soccer team here at ICC. And, Coach, you talk about being competitive. You have wins over those teams that played for that. So, it's just one of those that, in any sport, the break sometimes beats the girls at the wrong time, or if you get a break at the right time and get hot at the right time, good things can happen. And we're going to have that happen this season. I feel good about that.
Yeah, and the good thing about community college athletics is if you don't like it 1 year, stick around, because the next year it completely changes. And last year was a rebuilding year. It was a rebuilding year for us in regards to we had a few players that were expected to return, coming in as sophomores and then just decided to transfer out and continue their journey academically without continuing soccer, which is always completely fine. We want to have a great experience for students here to be successful, not just on the field, but also in the classroom. And so they saw a benefit to transfer to Mississippi State and Ole Miss and University of North Alabama, and I think also Mississippi College. And so going into last year, we were a little bit lower in numbers than what we normally are. And it was asking a lot more from our freshman class, who I thought adjusted well, but it was not what we are consistently known for. And so a rebuilding year to go through some bumps and bruises that we're not accustomed to then use that as a foundation to go into the spring and have those freshmen that we're going to grow into our now current sophomores, really buy into our standards and our competitiveness. And they did that in the spring, and it's now continued on into this preseason. And it's been an amazing, amazing camp. First thing is, we've been fortunate enough to stay pretty much healthy. But the level of competitiveness, the standard of expectations is really being fueled by our sophomore class, and we're excited about that.
As always, like you said, it's tough in this league because, you try to build a team. You don't have the 4 years like most people do. You got the year and a half, basically, to get your girls squared away there. Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the girls right now. How are they looking, and what's your expectations? And let's break down expectations. We'll say the first half of the season before we enter division play. What's your expectations and goals for that part of the season?
Yeah, so I always break it down just like you said in stages of the season. I don't think you can look at what you want to be at in November and expect to be there on August 1st when you come in for preseason. So we had objectives and goals as a coaching staff that we wanted to accomplish through preseason, and it started before preseason. We wanted them to come in fit, and there was a different way that we went about our fitness standards this summer. And the girls really embraced it, and this has been the fittest preseason camp that we've had in my going on my ninth season here at Itawamba. And so that was a great foundation, and it's leading to what we want to try to accomplish, getting into the conference play. We know that the MACC is the highest competitive conference probably in the entire nation, so we want to use these first games leading into conference play, going through the middle of August up until September, to see what our standard can be, to see what we're doing well, to see maybe what positions are doing what we expect from them, and maybe some things that we want to tweak as we get ready for conference. Every game out, we're going to want to win. We want to be competitive, but we want to use these games to get prepared for the games that are really going to matter whenever we start seeing our other MACCC opponents.
Absolutely. And, of course, a lot of that you've already talked about starts with your sophomores. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that sophomore group. They're going to have to step in and be those leaders that they kind of were last year. Yeah. In this sense. So that's going to be a bonus heading into this. But talk about your sophomores and kind of your expectations with them. Yeah. Well, I think for this year compared to last year, because we were so young, we only had 4 sophomores that returned, and we had 14 freshmen. They had to learn to lead. And just like you come to a community college program like Itawamba, where we expect our freshmen to play, we're not going to keep you on the sideline, and we're gonna have you play. We know that you're not going to know how to do it all. It's the same thing with leading. We expect you to lead, but maybe you don't know how to lead yet. And so we try to find things that are beneficial to our team based on individuals. Someone that's outgoing and someone that is that Energizer bunny. We're going to give her tools where she can lead with her personality. Others that lead through hard work and just holding others accountable. We're going to give her some ideas of how she can lead. And so seeing them buy into that and lead through their own individual quirky tendencies this past preseason, it's been really fun to watch. And there's some particular players that we're saying, hey, we need a little bit more from you, a little bit of a higher role. But overall, it's the overall sophomore class that's really stepping into their comfortable roles and having the freshmen come in and buy in based on how they're performing so far. And we're continuing to talk with Coach David Strother about the upcoming ICC women's soccer season here, and just talked about the sophomores. Now let's focus on those freshmen. Man, I don't think a lot of people realize just how big of a jump it is from the high school level to this level. That's right. I mean, the speed of the game, the toughness of the game. A lot of people, think men's soccer is going to be more physical. I'm sorry. Sometimes these women matches that we call, like I'm out there, I'm like, I'm not going to play in this because they're going to beat me up. So just talk about just trying to getting those freshmen caught up to speed. Yeah, I think that is the biggest adjustment for a player coming in as a new player.
it's the speed of the game and the physicality of the game. And the college level is so physical, and we try to play with keeping the ball, and we want to try and play pretty, I guess if you could say that. But our league doesn't always play pretty sometimes. Our league is very physical, very athletic, very aggressive, and if you hold on to the ball too long as an individual player, you're going to remember holding on to the ball. And so just having our sophomores who have been through a year help our freshmen understand when we're working on things in practice that, hey, it needs to be faster, or hey, you need to be more aggressive, and then this is why. Not necessarily being led by us as coaches, because they're only going to listen to us so much. But even in training, if a freshman's going a little light, I've seen a couple times where a sophomore stepped in and just a little wake up call, a little bit more physical, and it's not to hurt them, it's not to punish them. It's just a matter of saying, hey, this is what to prepare for in the next 2 weeks. This is going to get real, and we're not just playing against ourselves anymore. Now we're playing against those other opponents who want to hurt us just as bad as we want to hurt them.
Absolutely. Now, the season kicks off on the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
You're hitting Pellissippi. It's a new community college.
It is.
Up in Knoxville. So, Coach, I do appreciate your time. Before I let you go, though, for those out there that may be looking at possibly a future in soccer at ICC, kind of give you the opportunity to reach out to them, maybe some parents or guardians that are listening, that maybe even some former players. Just tell them about your program, how they can learn more, and then if there's somebody out there that would like to donate, they can do that as well.
Yeah, so the best way to find us and the best way to get connected to us is all through our social media outlets. You guys with this department do an amazing job of really promoting us and every athletic program we have across this campus. And so we have on Instagram and on, I guess it's X now, not so long Twitter, but on Instagram and on X and on Snapchat, you can find us at ICC_soccer, and all of those are universal to all of those platforms. If you follow us, we'll try to go back and follow you. And if you're a potential player, the best way to let us know that you're interested you're interested in us is reaching out to us. You can find all of my information and all of our soccer office's information on our letsgoicc.com website through the staff directory. Any questions you may have about potential information, potential prospects, there's a questionnaire there that you can fill out. It takes about 5 minutes. That information gets directly sent to my email and Coach Galtie's email, and we try to always respond to a player. I always say, kind of generically, but very truthfully, if you're interested in us, we want to be interested in learning what you're looking to achieve. And if you're wanting to know more about the program, great. If you're wanting to know more about how you can fit into the program, that's even better. And so I think recruiting is all about communication. And if you want to communicate with us first instead of us getting to you first, you can absolutely do that. There's no violation, and we'll be happy to talk with you about our program and tell you about what we try to expect from our student athletes here with Itawamba Women's Soccer.
Well, Coach, looking forward to an exciting season, a successful season. And as I said, it starts Thursday on the road, and then you guys come home. And we want to invite all the fans to come out and support the Lady Indians this season. You can find that schedule, as David mentioned, on letsgoicc.com. Coach, anything else before I let you go?
No, we just look forward to anyone coming out and supporting the program. We've got a pretty good amount of home games. We'll do double headers with the men's team. Check the website. Find out where our games are going to be. If you're not able to come in and watch a home game, if we're around your area, come out and watch our program. These ladies work extremely hard to promote our program, but also more importantly, promote our wonderful institution. And so support them. They're going to love it. We're going to love it. And anytime that we get to see our brand out there supporting us from the sidelines, man, that's just an added bonus.
And to remind you, you can also watch the matches if you can't make it on letsgoicc.tv.com. You don't want to listen to the guy doing the play-by-play.
Best commentating in the conference, man. Give yourself some credit.
I appreciate that, Coach. That's Coach David Strother letting us know more about the Lady Indians soccer team. Again, visit letsgoicc.com to learn more about them and also how you can help support the team as well. We'll be back more of the ICC Hour right after this.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow is what we anticipate, what we work for, what we want to improve. At Itawamba Community College, we offer the courses, pathways, and the training that can help turn your vision of tomorrow into a reality. So why wait? Your tomorrow can start today at Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Kirk Herbstreit is a man of many talents, not only an athlete and a sportscaster, but also a maestro of the clarinet, a famous speed solver,
Piece of cake.
a noted cheese connoisseur.
Limburger.
But his true talent lies in the art of banking.
With Renasant Bank's great products, rewards, and easy-to-use online tools, every transaction is a masterpiece.
You might refer to Kirk as a Renaissance man.
But I call myself a Renaissance man.
Precision manufacturing and machining is the process of taking raw materials of any type and making an end product or a component for another type of product. Precision manufacturing program is a 2-year degree program. So with our degree, there's a couple different avenues we can take. Some students go directly into the tool and die field. We also go into general machining, which is the taking of raw materials and making just in parts or products or pieces or whatever the case may be. Our program does offer certifications. It is through the NIMS Corporation, which is a National Institute of Metal Society, and they do offer certifications in each individual component of our program, whether it be in milling machines, turning lathes, CNC mills, and CNC lathes. So those are national certifications. Demand for our students is high at this moment. We do have employers from all around our area and outside our area calling, looking for students with our skills. The average salary for precision machining, especially in the CNC field, is around $65,000, $70,000 a year. But most of the times our class does top out around 20, and it is open enrollment. So all of our core classes are in one large shop, or lab as we call it. We're here on first year students are Mondays and Wednesdays, usually from 8 o'clock to about 4:30 on Monday and Wednesdays. Second year students are Tuesday and Thursdays from 8 to 4:30. So all classes are at Belden. With the precision manufacturing program, we do have internships available. A lot of industry in our areas do come in and offer internships through our internship program every fall. Gene Haas Foundation is a major contributor to our program. They are big in education, so we do get a grant every year to help subsidize some of our students' tuition costs.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Today tastes like a home game, like a huddle. Tastes like we're bringing the heat, and like a front row seat. Today tastes like we're a team, and it never tasted this good.
And welcome back to the ICC Hour here on SuperTalk Mississippi, 101.9 FM. And as always, the ICC Hour is being presented to you by our friends over at Renasant Bank. They are the bank that understands you, and you can find out why by visiting RenasantBank.com. Well, we just got finished talking with Coach David Strother about the women's soccer team. Now we're going to talk with Coach Vogel here about the men's team. And, Coach, before we get started, thank you for taking time out of your busy preseason to come talk to us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
All right, so preseason, you just wrapped up your first friendly of the season. I'm learning. Sully would be proud. But, just talk about the preseason and how that's going for you guys so far.
So it's been good. It's a nice little
I'd say, introduction to college soccer for the boys that are here for the first time. And then it's great to have the boys back on campus that we had with us last year. And it's nice, too, for 2 weeks to have the guys here where the sole focus is just on the soccer side of things. And so it's not throwing them in with soccer, academics, and everything that goes on. So it is nice that the boys get to spend a lot of time with each other and just really grow together as a unit. So it's been really, really nice.
So what's been your main focus throughout the preseason?
So every year it's the same story. I think for us, it's half your team's gone, half your team's back. And so it's figuring out what exactly do we have. I mean, obviously we do our due diligence recruiting, making sure that we're recruiting the players that fit the style of play that we want to have. But once you get them here, you learn little nuances and things that are their strengths. And our job as coaches is to find out what best suits the boys that we have here on campus, what system's going to fit for that, and where are they best suited to be on the field for us. So that's kind of what we did in the first week. It was really just principles of play, concepts, and so we just figured out what we had and started teaching from there. And then in week 2, started instilling more of systematic things, so how we want to play within our system and getting boys into the positions they'll see themselves majority of the matches.
So what's the breakdown on sophomores returning? How many you got coming back? Or you think of that off the top of your head?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. I want to say we have 13 that are returning.
Okay. So just about 50-50.
Yeah. It's a good split this year. Now we've got a transfer that's come in. He's got 1 year of eligibility left, so he'll be classified as a sophomore for us. So pushing the number just a little bit higher to 14, and then the rest of the boys coming in are freshmen from either across Mississippi, the Southeast, or internationally.
Okay, well, let's talk about your sophomores first, and we're not going to talk about anybody by name, but just more as a group. What is your expectations for these sophomores coming in?
Well, I think for them, just comparing it to last season, so obviously I was hired last summer, came in, got rocking and rolling, but didn't really know the boys, didn't have a chance to really help them understand what we were trying to achieve. And so just going back to last spring, that was crucial time for us, like being able to train and play. They know what we expect, and they've been very helpful in holding the standards of what we're trying to do here and helping lead the new boys that have come in as well. So that has made this year a bit smoother and just a bit more helpful having leaders in our sophomore class that have a great understanding of what we're trying to do here.
And one thing I talked about with Coach Strother is for this freshman group and for fans in general, I don't think they realize the jump they're about to make from high school to the community college level here, especially on this level, because, just like the women, the MACCC, they're always going to compete for a national championship. So, you've got some top-notch quality teams here from top to bottom. So these freshmen, man, they got to come in, and they got to come in ready, and they got to hit it hard.
Yeah, it's different. That's what we kind of try to explain to them. It's like, look, you were the best player in your high school. You're in a group of players who were the best players in their high school, and you're going against other best players from those high schools. So it's a bit different, and we try to explain to the players as well. The term competition, typically you think of competitive soccer as my team competes against another, but when you get to this level, you're competing within your own group every day for a spot on the field. So that's quite the transition. And then the other thing too, like you said, top to bottom, like in high school soccer, Mississippi, you will have a gap sometimes between the top teams and bottom teams. So there's matches where the boys walk into, and they might not be as mentally prepared as they should be, knowing what's ahead of them. But from the teams that are at the top to the bottom of our conference, it doesn't matter who you're playing. I mean, you've got to be prepared, mentally prepared, ready to go every game, whether the team's sitting 12th or 13th in the table or 1st or 2nd.
Absolutely. We're talking with Coach Caryl Vogel here about the ICC men's soccer team. They'll be starting throwing them to the fire this weekend. You're hitting the road heading up to St. Louis, take on some pretty tough competition up there. Of course, we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. But, Coach, what has been the biggest thing you've learned? I know you're a former player in this league, but after your first year, now heading to your second year, what's been the biggest thing that you've learned?
Just from a coaching standpoint, I guess it's a bit different when you're at this level versus like I was at a university before, and then prior to that I was at a high school. So now I'm kind of in the middle of the sandwich. And so like at this level, it's a lot of things that you're dealing with. You've got the recruiting aspect, you've got the retention aspect of keeping the players here, and then you've got the promotion aspect. So it's really all three phases. You work with the players in the high school level when they're with you, and then helping them get to what's next for them. At the two prior jobs I had, it was working on the first part to get them to college, and then at the university level, I was their last stop. So there was no thought of, okay, how can we help these players get on to their next college? It was more along the lines of, they're about to enter the workforce or whatever's next for them in life. So just trying to balance that has been not difficult, but just an eye-opening experience, because there's something always going on, whether it's step 1, step 2, or step 3 in the process.
Absolutely. Now, you're in a good area for men's soccer. A lot of good high school programs. Talk about just you and Coach Lashley, kind of y'all's vision when it comes to recruiting to get the best here to ICC.
Yeah, and it might sound a bit, I don't know the term, I won't come on the term, but like for us, we really want to get local players. And obviously within local, we're looking at, the 5-county area that's around us, but anything from Starkville north to DeSoto County. I mean, we want to be a representation of North Mississippi in general. We kind of view that as our recruiting base. We had a parent ask us the other day, actually, a really, really good question of like, why should my child come to school here versus maybe a school that's 15 minutes away from them? And really opened our eyes. And for us, we're just trying to sell who we are, and if that's a good fit for the players, then we want them here. And if they're a good fit for us, So recruiting wise, it's really all over North Mississippi, making sure that we get our eyes on the players that are close to us, but also those within an hour and a half radius as well.
Another interesting aspect that you and tennis kind of share is the fact that you do bring in international players. And that's always interesting to hear how the coaches go about finding those, making those connections, and they're recruiting them here to, say, from Australia to Fulton, Mississippi.
Yeah. It's a bit different for some of them when they get here. To be honest with you, some of the biggest change for a lot of our international players is the climate. It's really, really warm, humid here, and so it takes them a bit of time to acclimate to that. But as far as going out and finding these players, it's like for us this year, we've got 2 out-of-state players and 4 international players. But it's just like any high school player recruiting Mississippi. We open that line of communication, explain to them who we are, they explain to us who they are, and then we go about watching full match films. So they're able to see them play a full 90-minute match, typically 2 to 3 of these games. And so it's not like we're just pulling a player sight unseen and they're coming here and we're trying to figure out who we have. It's just like if I was going down the road to Itawamba High School or to Pontotoc High School, we're watching these players play multiple matches and many Zoom calls, phone calls to make sure that they're the right fit for us.
Absolutely. And it's always my favorite time, like this time of year, you get to know the international kids and I don't want to call it culture shock, but the culture change, And you kind of talk to them and they're like, I remember, I forgot who I was talking to last year, but they're like, sweet tea is just unbearable. And I'm like, no, you don't say that around here. So it's very, very different there. Well, Coach, let's go ahead and talk about the upcoming season. You start this weekend on the road, 2 tough matches up in the St. Louis area. So let's talk about expectations at the start of the season. Not necessarily the entire season, but what do you want to see your team do and achieve before you hit conference play?
I think the biggest part for us is to use these games early on in the season to figure out who we are. We've got teams, like you said, we're going to St. Louis to play 2 top teams from that conference there. We've got Delta State coming to us the following week. So the biggest part for us is figuring out who we are against tough competition. And we've got some really good schools, East Central, Meridian, to follow up after those matches so that we have a clear picture of who we are, what we can do before we go into conference games. So treating those, every match is important no matter what. But it's just a good learning experience for us as coaches and the team in general to figure out what's going to set us up on the best pathway once we hit that stretch of conference play to help us get to the top of the table.
We're talking with Coach Vogel about the men's soccer team here at ICC. And, Coach, we got just a few more minutes left here. So what can fans expect out of your team this season when they come watch you here in Fulton?
I think for us, like we ask our players, like I said before, to be competitors. And so just relentless. And unfortunately for us in the rules that we have unlimited substitution. So we have a deep team. And so just a group of players who are willing to work hard for each other, have a great understanding of what we're trying to do as a team. And I'm not going to call it pretty football or pretty soccer, but it's hopefully to be a brand that's a bit more of us controlling the game, a bit more attack-minded and strong defensively so that any match, any opponent that we play against, that we're able to impose ourselves upon them. And that's the goal. Obviously the boys ourselves, we don't want to have to be in a game where we aren't dictating, we aren't in control. So that's what we're trying to achieve through this preseason and these tough opponents that we've got lined up for us.
And you can see that full schedule on letsgoicc.com. If you can't make it to Fulton, you can watch home matches on letsgoicctv.com. Follow us on Twitter, ironically enough, Let's Go ICC. But you've got your own social media side. Tell everybody about, I think it's Let's Go ICC _men's sock.
So for Instagram, it would be Let's Go ICC _MSOC for men's soccer. And then we share the Twitter account and Facebook accounts with the women's soccer program as well. So
there you go. So you can find that out there, or you can follow us on Let's Go ICC. We share a lot of y'all stuff as well. So, Coach, before I let you go, kind of let you reach out to the fans. Maybe there's a player out there that wants to find out more about your program, or a parent, a guardian. How can they go about getting in touch with you?
The best way for us is going to be either via email or the player questionnaire that's linked to the website. So if any players are interested in being a part of what we're doing here, we would love for them to reach out, open that line of communication if we haven't already, and then go from there.
All right, Coach. Well, I know it's going to be an exciting season. It's already here. Those 2 weeks of preseason, I mean, blink an eye, they were gone. So, and we're going to have good weather this season. I want to speak it into existence.
I appreciate that.
And we've talked with Coach Caryl Vogel about the ICC men's soccer season. Again, visit letsgoicc.com to find out more about their season as it goes throughout. So we're going to take a break and be back more of the ICC Hour right after this.
Kirk Herbstreit is a man of many talents, not only an athlete and a sportscaster, but also a skilled swordsman, a master chef.
Needs more lavender.
A wonder at word games.
2 tries, every time.
But his true talent lies in the art of banking.
With Renasant Bank's great products, rewards, and easy-to-use online tools, every transaction is a masterpiece.
You might refer to Kirk as a Renaissance man.
But I call myself a Renaissance man.
They say Diet Coke is a mom's drink. Well, you copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music. Now, copy her drink. Drink what your mama gave you.
Hey, honey, could you help me with this? Today tastes like staying in. And it never tasted this good.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
That's home. That's just like the Ravens. That's just like Pahokee, Florida. That's my second home. I got my degree from there, my first degree, college degree. It's part of my heart, it's part of my soul, it's part of my spirit. And, you know, it's everything. Itawamba Community College, baby, it's everything. It shaped me up to being a great man because it was part of the journey of me becoming the young man I am today. And it's home, man. That's it. Like, I could go there and lay my head down without no problems. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
And that's going to do it for this afternoon's show. I do want to thank our guests, Mr. Jon Armstrong, Coach David Strother, and Coach Caryl Vogel for coming by to talk to us this week. In case you missed any of the show or just now joining us, you can find each episode of the ICC Hour on our YouTube page. All you have to do is search the ICC Hour, all one word, the ICC Hour, right there on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to our page while you're there. Just hit that subscribe button. If you're a fan of our athletics, you can do the same on YouTube by subscribing to our YouTube page. All you got to do there is search Let's Go ICC. It's the first week of school. A lot of things are going on. I do want to encourage you to visit iccms.edu. That's iccms.edu to keep up with all things ICC. And then, of course, on the athletic side, you can visit letsgoicc.com. That's letsgoicc.com. Make your plans to join us here right back on SuperTalk Mississippi 101.9 FM next Tuesday at 106. Have a blessed week, and as always, roll Tribe.
Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.